Imagine you're out, you're spending quality time with your family, everyone's having fun. When suddenly a gunman shows up and he kills not you, but your family members. Such is the case for many victims of gun violence. An NBC News report in 2021, a man killed 10 people with a stabilizing brace on his gun. The Gun Violence Archive has released a statement that in 2020, there have been 610 mass shootings. That's more than one shooting in a day. In times like these, we need government support. And that's what Joe Biden is doing with his new gun regulations to reduce shootings. His first step is to strengthen background checks. Currently, licensed dealers and retailers are supposed to conduct background checks. They are required by law to do that. But private sellers aren't. They can just sell guns and not have to worry about any background checks whatsoever. What Joe Biden wants to do is that he wants to have these private sellers go through licensed gun dealers and have them conduct the background checks before any purchases can be made. So that way, these guns won't fall into the wrong hands. Another way that he wants to reduce gun violence is to tackle the Charleston loophole. The Charleston loophole is a term given that if background checks take more than 3 days to complete, then the licensed gun dealers can go ahead and make the purchase, even if the background checks aren't complete. The National Rifle Association has made a statement in 2021 that the 3 days are completely justified, arguing that these background checks won't be done in a short time period if these 3 days have been extended. And that's what Joe Biden wants to do. He wants to extend the 3 days into 10 days. So in the case of any delays, then the background checks, there'll still be more time for them to be complete without any purchases being made. It may seem like a long time, but you have to know that in the case of a delay, any crazy psychopath can obtain guns legally. Another way that Joe Biden wants to curb gun violence is through Ghost Guns. Ghost Guns is a company that sells firearm parts, not firearms. You can purchase these kits and you can make the firearms at home. They argue on their website, they argue that they're only selling firearm parts, which in itself aren't considered firearms, and that's how they escape the law. An April 9th, 2021 report by the New York Times has shown that these ghost guns have been found and linked to mass shootings and criminal activity. What Joe Biden wants to do, he wants to have these firearm kits considered as weapons now, so that before any purchasers can buy these kits, they have to first be conducted through background checks. This way, this prevents other future buyers from buying any guns unless they have to go through it legally with background checks. In conclusion today, the world is a scary place, filled with psychopaths, killers, terrorists, all who could come and shoot up any place. Luckily, our president wants to step up and better their efforts in fighting gun violence. How he wants to do it is he first wants to strengthen background checks by having private purchases be made through licensed gun dealers so that background checks can be made. The second way he wants to do it is he wants to tackle the Charleston loophole by extending the 3-day rule into 10 days in the case of any delays. And lastly, but not least, he wants to fight ghost guns. And by doing that, he wants to have their firearm parts be considered as firearms. I really hope that in the near future, when these regulations are now law, that America will have a brighter future. Thank you. Goodbye.